That's my greatest worry. That's my greatest fear. And it is my hope that the judiciary of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will stand tall, mighty, and defend democracy. That is the system we brought about to ensure that the winners of election are determined finally and conclusively at the polling unit. Every other stage of the process becomes a mere aggregation, collation, so that the winners of election will no longer be determined in the court of law, in the tribunal, that we must move away from the tribunal.
So guys, this is an ex-INEC staff speaking, Mr. Mike Igini. He has exposed so many things that went wrong during this election. How, the uploads of results, the presidential results that didn't happen was a human error. It was an intentional act. It was not as if there was any glitch. This man has really exposed the INEC chairman. So guys, I'm going to allow you just take your time and watch this video. Just watch this video. This was a live session on Naija Watch. Just take your time and listen to how he's going to respond to so many questions, and you will get to know that honestly INEC planned out these things with the APC. This was a planned deal. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.
Broadcast today. Yes, we'll be looking forward to this. Thanks for keeping to your time as well. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, we have the former resident commissioner of INEC in Akwa Ibom, Mr. Mike Igini, right here. Mr. Mike Igini, I'll quickly, before we move on, my name is Elvis. I'm the owner of this channel, and I have my wonderful consigned Nigerians who join us here 6 p.m. every day. We talk about the things that's affecting us in Nigeria. I'm based in United Kingdom. I've lived in United Kingdom almost all my life. I can categorically say I'm not happy with the way things is going on in Nigeria. That's why we are here. That is what the channel stands for. But I want to let you know, sir, that I've been following you now for a while. I've been following you since 2020, when there was when you were on channels. There's a statement which I'm going to quote. I'm going to requote that you stated, I started following you since that time, and I've glued to you. I've watched all your videos. We've analyzed, I can say, 80% of all your videos, including the one you've done today in Arise on this platform. In 2020, in channels you were interviewed, this statement glued me to you. You said, and I quote, local government elections are nothing but organized crime. They should not be calling them elections at all. That was your statement. Do you remember that, sir? Good.
Correct. That's true.
Wonderful. Ever since, I glued to you. I understand the pains we're facing in Nigeria. Not all politicians or those we look up to, not all of them we can trust. And that is the problem we are facing today. Thank you very much for joining us, sir. I would also like to quickly reference back, because there's a quick question before we start. I understand that you were, because now they're saying that the former
resident electoral commission.
Yes. So I would say, why is former? Did you resigned, or what happened? Because I understand that the new person there is now Siri Omorogbe, is an Edo man that took your position, right?
All right.
Please, if you can let us know, Thank you.
Okay. Well, first, thank you very much for having me. The conversation you've been having over time about the affair of your country is actually a reflection of what we call the ultimate aim of democracy, which is government by discussion. Democracy provides a platform for citizens, either in government or in opposition, or ordinary citizens, wherever they may be, to have conversation about the public affairs of their country. And so I want to first and foremost commend every one of you for keeping on the conversation on how best to make the best out of our own country. The problem of our country is essentially about leadership. And as I noted this morning, given the level of human resources, the human index, and the material resources we have in our country, if we can get the leadership question right, the speed with which Nigeria will attain greatness will be like the speed of a rocket. But this is where we'll be having our problems. You know, everything rises and falls with leadership. And so the leadership recruitment process is very key to the progress of our country. If you check around the world, starting with organizations, companies, how well they do, you will have to go and look at their recruitment policy. If you heard that this company is doing so well, like some of the companies that work in Nigeria, Chevron, Shell, and some other corporate organizations that are doing well, all you need to check is the mode of recruitment. What kind of people do they recruit into those organizations? It will tell you the kind of people they recruit. And so the struggle to get it right for our country in terms of leadership has been on for a very long time. I never knew that I would find myself in the election management body. As a matter of fact, in 2010, I woke up on the 8th of June 2010. At about 2 a.m., I got a call from an old classmate. Is one of these heavy-duty writer in this day newspaper. You must have been reading about him, Shaka Momodu. We're classmates, secondary school classmates. So he called me that, look, your name is among Jaga, your name and other people have been appointed by President Jonathan to the election management body. So I woke up in the morning and the front of newspapers, I saw my picture, Jaga, and all others. So, well, given what I knew about INEC, that's what they've always been doing was not the best of organized crime in the name of election, complete facade, as you witness in 2003, and the worst of all in 2007, when ballot papers were not even produced. Ballot papers were not even produced. And those that were produced were not serialized. They were never serialized. Yet, and you have to remember that time, there was a story that the truckload of materials from Abuja disappeared. And since 2007, those materials disappeared. So how can you conduct election with ballot papers that are not serialized? Unfortunately for our country, the matter went to the Supreme Court, got to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court that we expected to put its foot down, because how do you compute the total number of ballot paper used for that election when they were not serialized? They ended up by way of casting of votes. It was 3-3 that if then CJN now put the winning ballot, it became 4-3. And the Yaradua election that ought to have been annulled was now affirmed. And so Jonathan, when after the man died and Jonathan came on board. Obviously, because of that embarrassment. I remember that Uwe's panel was set up when Yar'Adua said this election was flawed and set up Uwe's committee for reform. Every day I keep hearing people talking about Uwe's panel. Do we all know that the report of that panel never got a white paper? There was no single bill to take into the National Assembly with respect to recommendations such as the need for compilation of a biometric register of voters, because we have a manual that have been hijacked by politicians. Number two, the need for the conclusion of winners of election petition before people are sworn in, like what happened in 1979 and 1983. And of course, the mode of appointment of who should be a chairman or commissioners of INEC. These were profound recommendations. Regrettably, none of these recommendations saw the light of the day. It was when Jonathan now came on board because of his own votary for credible election. He decided to appoint Professor Jega, who was a member of the Waste Committee, and the professor of University of Lagos and myself were the only 3 people that were appointed to a board made up of 12 at Abuja and 36, and of course, Federal Capital Territory resident commissioner. So when on the 8th of June 2010, the appointment, I'm trying to give you a context, a background, that appointment was made. I declined to accept that offer because I saw INEC as a rogue institution as at that time. So I declined. So when I declined, it became an issue within the South. Leadership of South people met. Oh, and they said, how could Igini reject an appointment made by the president, who is incidentally also from the South? So after the meeting, the late Mike Ahigbe, the former vice president, I've never met him before the call he made to me. He called me one morning, and I picked the call and I said, who is this? He introduced himself, that he's Admiral Mike Ahigbe. So I was shocked because I don't have his number. I mean, somebody we see on television and all of that. So where are you? I said, I'm in Lagos. Oh, you live in Lagos? I said, yes. He sent it addressed to me off. I just said, Adiogun, I should come and see him. I went there. I got there, and he said, the South people had a meeting. And they said, why would you embarrass President Jonathan by declining to accept the offer? That the reason he called me was that he noted that I was one of those people that their own military government declared wanted under Abacha, Oyegun, Chief Oyegun, and 24 others. I was the youngest PA to MK Abiola when I was at the university. And that the reason why they gave that offer was that within the civil society, there are those that work with them, and there are those who are truly committed to the issues, the value they advocate. I said, well, I'm one of those people. And that it truly, all that I've been saying, I've advocated, I've written, now is the opportunity for you to demonstrate to the Nigerian people that truly you meant well for your country. I must go and accept that appointment. That was why on the 20th of July, I had to go to Abuja. When I got to Abuja, I was the only person who was not screened by the National Assembly. Okay, we know you. So that was how I accepted the offer. And appointment of a commissioner is for 5 years term. So I spent 5 years where I worked in several states of the Federation, in Cross River, where I spent 4 years, 11 months, and 5 days, and thereafter taken to Edo State in 2015, where I presided over the election. And the election I conducted in that state, out of the 11 states, 6 of South-South, 5 from Southeast, that was where I declared to the whole world, when the PDP were talking about federal might, and I told them publicly that under my watch in Edo State, it will be the will of the people through the ballot that we speak, and not any federal might. That is not going to happen. Well, it is God that saved me. They sent gunmen to my house in GRA. But we are protected by the armor of God. So in that election, I created the level playing field. That was the only place. The APC out of 11 states, where President Buhari scored not 25% required under the Constitution, but 46%. They had, out of 3 senatorial seats in Edo State, APC had 1, PDP had 2. Out of 9 federal house in Edo State, APC had 4, PDP had 5. So I completed my tenure in Edo State. And within that period, I was in charge of Imo State governorship election, 2011, 2015, combined all of that together, Osun State in 2014, Anambra State in 2012, and of course, outside jurisdiction. So the tenure ended. When it ended, again, in 2017, when Buhari had come in, I was now reappointed for the second term of 5 years. That second term of 5 years took me to Akwa Ibom. And of course, all the story about Akwa Ibom is very well known to everybody. So I completed my tenure on the 12th of August last year. And of course, because they wanted some of us to be out of the system, otherwise, you still have what you call 5 years for national commissioner, another 5 years again, of course, chairmanship and all that. But at some point, there are people who feel so comfortable that our voting for due process, doing the right thing, will not be what they want. So that is how, not a retirement, I actually serve at my term, because I'm still a young man. For you to be retired, you must have attained 60 years of age. I'm not 60 years of age. You must have spent 35 years in service. In my own case, I already spent 5 or 10 years in public service by way of an appointment. And so it's not retirement, but it is end of tenure.
Okay. Wow. That's a long explanation, and it's a very touching one as well. I'm not aware that 1 or 2 persons were after your life. Yeah, it's good to hear all this, and it's good to say it here. I think this is the first time I'm hearing that. I don't know about my audience. Thank you very much, sir, for clearing the air. Okay, let us quickly bring in our guest, because I don't want us to keep you here for so long. But this platform, 95% of the people here we based in diaspora. So there are questions that are going to be, because you know what happened in the 2023 presidential election. Many Nigerians, we are not very happy. We are displeased. In fact, many of us have lost hope for Nigeria. A lot of people have called into my show, have been to my show. They have vowed never to go to Nigeria again because of what just happened. So let's see what people will say from here. Everybody stay mute, stay mute. Mr. Edwin, your camera is not on. You're not going to be put in. And if you don't do that on time, sir, you might likely be removed. Maybe you're not ready. Mr. Edwin, Okay, I have to remove you, sir, because we don't have time to wait for this. So if you turn on your camera, if you still have the space, you can come in. Okay, if somebody take the space, I'm sorry. We've said this before. Thank you. All right. I would like to start with Mr. CM. Mr. CM, please turn on your audio and speak. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Niger Watch. Good evening. Welcome, Barrister Mike Igini, to our platform. It's only
Thank you.
anybody who claims not to have heard your name. Well, I wouldn't say anything, but the person should go back to school. At least in the last 10 years, we've been hearing you every day on channels, on Arise every time, and it's about election. Now, my question is this: without wasting time, we all witnessed what happened on February 28th. From then on, my question is this: as a lawyer, they say Section 134, Section 1, subsection 1, I think B, that says something about federal capital, two-thirds, 25% of at least two-thirds of all the states and the federal capital territory. What I want as one of the requirements, part of the requirement to be elected president, what I want to know from you is, because this is an opinion. I know you have your own opinion about this. Do you think that those who said two-thirds of 36 states, which is 24 states, is okay, that the president do not need to get 25% of the vote cast in Abuja because they felt that Abuja is part of the states? Or do you go along with Barrister Michael Zekome, who has put in his thoughts in writing, that two-thirds of 36 states is 24, then plus 25% of federal capital territories? That is the question. So I want to know your opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, CM. You didn't tell us where you are joining us from, Mr. CM.
Oh, sorry. Barrister Igini, I'm joining you from the United Kingdom, County Durham. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. Again, I want to thank all of you for your passion, your interest in your country. But just before I answer your question, it's just to let you know that no matter what we are going through, the ill of democracy can only be cured by more democracy. Now, with respect to your question, one of the things I did all through the period in service was to ensure that anything that's likely to create a problem in every election, I try as much as possible to put it up front for those who are contesting the election to be sufficiently aware. I do that because I know that elections are in three phases. We have the pre-election period, the election period, and the post-election period. The post-election period is the period where the courts will have to sit. And those of you who have followed me over the years, my battle cry has been my constituency. Before I came to INEC, I've always been making the point that judiciary must stand tall and mighty in defense of democracy and the rule of law. And that the first victim of the subversion of democracy is attack on the rule of law, a failure to obey the rule of law. And that when politicians repudiate, reject the norms, values, and laws on which democracy is practiced, democracy will die. So I put everything up front. Now, the constraint we have right now is that the question you have asked before the election, I answered that question in a video that's still very much alive, because I presented it as a what you call, when you want to prepare students for exams, so what you call the area of concentration. And I made that call 2 weeks before the election, and the last day on the 24th of February. That is still there. Now, as a lawyer, one of the things, because I have concluded my thought with what do you call it, Arise today. I'm not going to speak to Arise again. I know that all other stations, they are on me. In fact, that's also why I accepted to be part of this program, because the moment the tribunal sits, and they're already doing that now, as a lawyer who is also calling on judiciary to do the right thing, I know that the issue they are going to make pronouncement on, I should not be seen to be doing so now. But I was free to express that opinion. So I will respectfully request that that video, perhaps you can put it on this your platform. It's everywhere. You can watch it. So that for me, who is calling on judiciary, and I'm going to continue by next week, round up with what do you call it, channels, what do you call it, AIT and TVC, where I'm going to say, for now, I'm done with. So with respect to that view, my view remains as expressed on that video. If you ask Ozekome today, even though he has put that in writing, which I also did, he will not, repeat himself down now that the courts are sitting. So I think I want us to respect the court, with respect to that subject matter. Otherwise, Section 134 is very clear. Let us now hear from the men of the court who are eminently qualified to make a final pronouncement.
All right. Thank you very much for answering that question. I would like to move on to the next person here. Let me go to Give Us a Mandate. Give Us a Mandate. Please unmute yourself and tell us where you're joining us from. Go ahead with the question.
Good evening, Barrister Mike Ozakome. Sorry, Mike Igini. Sorry about that.
Good evening.
I'm actually calling from the United States of America. I live here in Texas. Thank you for all the good works you've been doing. Thank you for standing tall for the country. Thank you for your good works. Now, my question is going to be around 3 elections were held around simultaneously on, I think, February the 18th. The House of Rep, the Senate, and then the presidency.
February 25th, right?
25th,
Yeah, sorry.
All right.
Yeah, so February 25th. So now, before now, you had the product which you sell to the whole world. Bvas, game changer. RF, game changer. That product cured the disease for House of Rep and House of Senate, but could not cure the disease for the presidency. Do you think the doctor, who is maybe the sitting INEC commissioner or the INEC chairman, did something in between the game?
What's your question?
Do you think it would have been ideal for INEC to change the game, the goalpost in the middle of the game, and they didn't transmit the presidency?
Yeah. Thank you very much. I must say that the very turning point, what brought excitement, hope, and huge expectation that led to the level of participation by Nigerians, home and abroad, and many who traveled back home, was on account of the advertised Bvas process and procedure. First, the 2022 Electoral Act, wherein some election rigging provisions like Section 49, Section 53, Section 68, that for 20 years we fought, we were able to get rid of those provisions in the 2022 Act. The 2022 Act now secured INEC processes and procedure in terms of the upload of results from the polling unit in a weather manner that the moment everything is already out there, put out to the whole world, to the empirical world. For example, as was done in Edo State, where the system was upgraded to accommodate 2 million people. So every Edo man, whether you are in Japan, you are in Australia, anywhere around the world, you could call your folks at home who in the respective polling unit, it will be uploaded. Now, what is uploaded? It takes away the misfortune of the past, because what happened before was that I am a presiding officer. My friend who asked the question, you are at the World Collation Center. Now, from morning to the evening, or when the poll will close, in the old order, in the old system, whatever that we're doing here, you will not know. And at the end of the poll, either on my way to the World Collation Center where you are, because a ward is a cluster of a minimum of 12 polling units. So on my way, I will change the results. Or when I get to the World Collation Center where you are, with connivance, we could change it from EC8A results. That was the old system. So what the new innovation came to cure the mischief was that the moment you upload from the polling unit to the public result viewing portal, as was done in Edo State, your humble self, who is the World Collation officer, who in the old system will not know what is going on, you don't have to talk to me anymore. You have a code to see that result. Because I am aware that you already know the result already in my polling unit, will be tied, meaning that I want to come to you to be asking to change the result. It's no longer possible. That is the system we brought about to ensure that the winners of election are determined finally and conclusively at the polling unit. Every other stage of the process becomes a mere aggregation, collation, so that the winners of election will no longer be determined in the court of law, in the tribunal, that we must move away from the tribunal. This was the whole thing that was designed. And 105 elections, inclusive of 5 off-season governorship elections, this procedure, we use it very well. So when I came and left the system after the end of my tenure, I had offers from all contestants at all levels to be what you call a consultant. And I politely declined all the consultancy offer, because having been part of a team that designed a process, accepting this huge offer that run into millions, it will make me to be subjective. Objectivity will be gone. And that is why I declined. And because the pressure was on, I publicly came on air to say, look, I would rather consult for the Nigerian people, because democracy gets better if the people get all the information that they need to get. I was not paid. Channels Television, AIT, Arise, for 1 year, they were giving me an average of 45 minutes, even TVC 1 hour. I never paid a dime, and nobody paid me. I was doing that in service of the fatherland. Therefore, and what that was now energized Nigerians, brought tremendous of energy of hope for participation, as was witnessed in the voter registration exercise that got up to 93.5 million. So on election day, that is what we expect to happen. As you noted, House of Rep, Senatorial were uploaded. Of course, he said there was a problem with the presidential. That is now the issue that we have to be resolved in the tribunal, where we have right now in court. So again, in the best tradition of my legal profession, I will keep my view, which I've also expressed already, because as I said, I've left the system. I've done it the system. I want one of the implementers. And remember, in the course of my education, I also made the point very clear that good laws, innovations are not self-implementing. They are not self-executory. They require human being to execute the process. And that was why in my interview, I made it very clear that this is not actually time to begin to catalog the benefit of the Bvas. Otherwise, I mean, we all know, as I said, that look, with the regime of the system, the Senate will no longer be a retirement home for governors who are on their final term. And that was what happened in the last election.
Exactly.
Were it not for the Bvas, an Okada rider could not have won. Were it not for the Bvas, the organized crime in the old system, where at the end of the poll, party agents will do what we call sharing of unused ballots. Today, that has ended the use of sharing of unused ballot, where they now allocate vote at the end of the poll. Were not for the Bvas, the use of incident form, wherein people can just fill a form, even those who have died, those who have traveled, you can vote on behalf of people who were not existing. It was the Bvas that brought that into place. But why that upload could not happen, I don't have the answer to it.
On the critical one.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. I would like to quickly reiterate, because that part is very, very important, you know, where Bvas Ahmad what he was trying to say. You know, you answered every part of it. Thank you very much for the for all your response. To be declared the president, a candidate must score at least 25% of the vote in the FCT. Sir, do you agree to this? Yes or no, sir? Thank you.
You know, I just told you now, you know that I'm not one of those who will shy. I mean, everybody knows in this country, I speak truth to authority. There is nobody. Look, I have never heard that for saying the truth, heaven will fall. Heaven will never fall. Rather, I'm told that they'll be rejoicing in heaven.
Yeah.
But you see, why I have survived all the assassination, the attack, even the system itself, is the fact that, you know, when we get to a certain point, when okay, this is your duty. We want you to do your duty first. When you fail to do your duty, we will tell you. And in any case, I've spoken about this. And now, as a lawyer, you know, one of the things, I mean, I just told you, I'm going to do some conversation. I've spoken about this here. The section you referred to. Let me just give you all the sections. Just give you all the section. The opinion of the court is not what we need. Section 134 of the Constitution is very clear. Section 179, as related to governorship, is very. In fact, I have a table. Maybe at the end of this program, I will forward to you a table. What required to be declared a governor. And okay, let me use one state, because right now they are not in tribunal. So I can use one state to demonstrate that for you. In the 36 states of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, only 12 states that if we are going to compute the 2/3 of number of local government, we must score 25% to be declared a governor. We have only 12 states that have even number. Let me use two that are not part, or one that is not part of the current tribunal, because of the respect I want to differ to the tribunal. Imo State. Imo State, I don't know anybody on this platform is from Imo State. Imo State has 27 local government, including Jigawa. They are the only two that have 27 local government. Now, Imo State, 2/3, I mean, the mathematician on this your platform, 2/3 of 27 is 18. You've got to have 25% in 18. Do we agree mathematically that 2/3 of 27 is 18? Do we agree on that? Who are the mathematicians here?
Yes, we
Right.
do. We do. We do.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Correct. 2/3 of 27 is 18. Now, let me tell you the tragedy of what happened in Imo in 2019. And I've said that over and again. And I'm saying that because it is sometime this year or so, there will be governorship election in Imo State. I have been in charge of Imo governorship election twice. Some of the key positions you are seeing there, I've ordered for the arrest. It's during elections. Now, in 2019, Emeka Ihedioha was returned as a governor of Imo State. That return was unconstitutional. You know why? Emeka Ihedioha scored 25% only in 9 local governments. 9 local governments. That's where he scored 25%. He ought not to have been returned at all. But you know what happened? He was returned. Now, the matter is not there. The question now is, how many local government did he score 25%? If you find out, it's shocking. And so, you cannot be a governor of that state without having 25% in 18 local governments for simple majority. Do you know that in the commission, there's no documents to guide returning officers? So the question I've already asked, is it one deliberate? Because such attempt was made on me in 2011 and 2015 in Imo State, when I had to take over the state because there was a crisis there. The former Vice Chancellor of University of Lagos, the late Professor Peter Obi, was the returning officer. So when you left that thing not computed, no document to guide a returning officer, when it comes to that moment, that's when the millions, the billions will now be offered, pushing people up and down. But you can't push people like us. And so, the point we made here is that I made that education, that information available before the presidential election. 2 weeks before, and on the 24th of February, where I made that opinion. And when I made that opinion, there's no tribunal sitting, there's no court anywhere sitting. It was just part of my civic education. But now that the courts, remember, as we speak, they have exchanged briefs. The moment issues have been joined before the court, as a well-respected member of my constituency, that I also have respect for constituted authority, having expressed my view in the past, which of course everywhere it will be, not respecting the judges who are seated now, because they are the ones to now hear their final. So for that, I think you can always go back to what I said before now, but not at this point in time when the court is sitting. We now want to hear from the courts.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for answering that question from... okay, that was from me. Okay. Let me quickly move on to Madam Victoria. Madam Victoria, please unmute yourself and pass your question within a minute. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for honoring our visits. And thank you for coming to clear the air as constitutionally permissible. We appreciate your kind gestures. Thank you. My only question is, actually, I have it written down.
Where are you talking from, madam?
Oh, United States. I'm talking from the United States of America. And my only question is it logical to say that INEC is a division of APC because Mahmood was reappointed in 2020 despite his negligence and his inadequate performance in 2019 election that was largely condemned by local and international observers. Yet he was reconfirmed because majority of the Senate are APC. So is it really logical to say that Mr. Mahmood or INEC is a division of APC? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Let me add to that question. Barrister, please let me quickly add to that question as well, because a similar question from someone else asking that if INEC supposed to be involved speaking or backing up APC in this petition. Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. First, with respect to the description or the reference to the chair, you know, one of the things that the WIS committee, try to address for the purpose of independence of those who work in the election management body was that process should be taken out of the executive. In several jurisdictions where perhaps you have very stable political system, because in Nigeria, you have one political party today, by the next election, it fixes away. What usually happens is that the judiciary will nominate some people to that body. The executive will nominate, then political parties and the trade unions or civil society, they will also nominate people into that body. So there are different systems around the world. Now, the system we have, if truly we operate it, we will not have this kind of problem of perception about the independence of the individual who work in the system. First, for you to be the chairman, a national commissioner, or the resident commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, the president is required to go to the Council of States. When you have those names, you take them to the Council of States. The Council of States is made up of the governors of the entire 13 states of the Federation, which means that you have opposition coming in there. So if a president brought a proposal of people he wants to nominate to be in the election management body, that becomes an opportunity for the opposition member to say, this person, that person, and the other person, they have partisan background. Mr. President, don't go there. They don't have to be. They should not be nominated. But the question is that system being adhered to? That's stage number one. Stage number two, even when the president nominates, it doesn't mean that it is final. He goes to the Senate. And in the Senate, they have a duty to now go to the third schedule, paragraph 14 of the Constitution and section 154 of the Constitution that says that anybody that will be nominated into the Electoral Commission must be a person of unquestionable integrity and must not belong to a political party. These are conditions that are there. And in any case, such individuals are expected to stand before the People's Parliament and to take questions so that we can know their vision about the kind of EMB they want to manage. And also gives an opportunity for Nigerians to be able to do due background check on the individuals. But as you saw, the last round of appointment, if you were following what was going on, the civil society people, they stood firm. They brought detailed records about individuals who ought not to be regs that were nominated. But what happened? It went through the parliament. So, you see, our problem is that the elite of our country who are the greatest beneficiary of this democracy we fought for, they are also the greatest threat to our democracy. All we must not fail to do is to give up on them. Because, I mean, given what we are doing so far, they are still acting, behaving the way they are behaving. Imagine if we gave up, what will happen to all of us? So that with respect to the issue about who can be in INEC and not be in INEC. Then the question you, the anchor man, your question,
Yes,
the second question.
Yes, my question is, why is INEC
Okay, right, yes.
backing up? Yeah.
Yes, right. Now, you see, the electoral management body is the one that made a return. Now, once you make a return, you are the one who made a declaration. All right?
Yeah.
Under the law, you become, you see, there are two parties, or the parties to election petition. You have a petitioner, which could be a candidate alone or a candidate and his political parties. They are the petitioner. Now, the first respondent is the person that INEC, the election management body, had declared or returned as the winner of election. Then, of course, his political party, and the third could be the INEC. Now, naturally, legally, having made that return, it's not expected of you to come forward to now defend that return, justify the return that you have made. And that is why, this is where we now need to draw a line. If you listen to the program today, and I've said that over and over and again. In fact, the reason why I don't even want to speak again, because there is nothing that I have not put out there to judges and to my colleagues in the bar. And that is that under the Evidence Act, there's a what you call evidential axiom that says that it is you who assert has the onus to prove. All right? Now, if you go further to section 136, subsection 2 of the Evidence Act, as well as section 140, but let me just take you to only section 136, subsection 2. It says that in election proceeding, what is required to shift the onus of proof of how election was well conducted, that account must be taken with respect to those who are in possession of facts that require to prove that election. I, as a commissioner, for the period I serve in INEC, once return had been made and letter of appointment had been given to lawyers of INEC, once they come to my jurisdiction, to the states, I issue a second letter to them. Particularly at the venue where we are going to give what we call certificate of return, I make a clear announcement that, ladies and gentlemen, today you are collecting certificate of return, having the return as the winner of election. However, right in the office, there are people who have gone to court and they are saying that they have evidence, because I will not be everywhere, evidence of wrongdoing. Please take note. If evidence of wrongdoing is provided, I, as a commissioner, you as lawyer that have been appointed by headquarters, here, you are not here to defend a trophy that must be defended at all costs. But statutorily, you have a duty to now come to explain your duty as lawyers in the election that I supervise, it will explain to the court how you made that return. It is not for you to go to the court to filibuster, to be seen, to be working hand in glove with whoever we have returned, I will issue such letter to them, all right? And that wherever there's evidence of wrongdoing on the basis of which return was made wrongfully, so shall it be. Such election should be annulled. What I'm saying here, you could ask all lawyers, senior advocates that have been given letter of employment. I will do that. Because, which is the last point on this, if I supervise election, the process, methodology, the ad hoc, I adopted it, the ad hoc staff, I recruited them, I trained them, I deployed them, I produced the ballot paper, I produced the result sheets, the result were all done at the polling unit. I'm also in possession of all documents and all that. If issues are raised with respect to the credibility or otherwise of the return that I have made, I should be the one to explain how that return was made without being seen not to be an umpire. Because the person you returned, the petitioner, both of them, to be truly speaking, why should they be the one to defend a process? That is why it is the duty of INEC to do so, to be the one to explain how you made that return. That explanation is what we are going to see in the tribunal. And that is why it's done.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Wow. In fact, you are educating us today. I like this. Okay, let me move on to the next person here because all my panelists, they have a question. But in case you don't have any question, for any reason, if you have answered some of the questions that you've jotted down, when I come to you, you can say pass. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, let me quickly go to Mr. Keredolu. Mr. Keredolu, are you there with us? Okay, it seems you are not there right now. Okay, you are there now. Okay, Mr. Keredolu, unmute yourself. Pass your question within 30 seconds, sir. Unmute yourself, sir. We can't hear you. We can't hear you. Sir, we'll come back to you. Let me move on to the next person. We can't hear you. Busy Brains, please pass your question. Go ahead. Thank you very much, madam.
Okay. Hello, Mr. Good evening, Mr. Barrister Michael Guinea. We are so honored and very grateful to have you on the show today. Really, really blessed. And from the ways you've answered our questions, you've answered it so robustly. You've given us context. You've educated us, and I really feel empowered already. So my name is Busy Brains. I'm calling from the UK. Bear with me, I'm on a road trip. So my question is this, right? I know they say politics is a dirty game. So it is called a game. And I want to believe that in all games, there are rules. And for all players to be intimated of what the rules are before the game is played. But it feels to me, Barrister Ogini, that
Igini,
yeah, sorry. It feels to me that we are playing a game without rules, and those that have the with the powers that be make the rules as they go along. That is how it feels. So
okay,
the question is, before this exercise, were the rules spelled out, pump and plain to all the players in the game? Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely. Before the 2023 elections, as I noted before, the sanctity of laws, sanctity of rules and procedure, very key to public confidence. It was the sanctity of law that we had a new electoral act signed on the 25th of February by President, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that secure innovations and processes that have been used to conduct 105 elections. That was what brought the kind of enthusiasm, the interest that is unequaled in the history of our country. But I agree with you that the challenge we're having in our country is a question of the rule of law. It's a broken society. We are in a country where our pyramid of value is upside down. Dishonesty is now on the top. Those who do the wrong things are the ones who seem to be prospering in Nigeria. Those who are the bad guys are the ones who will challenge you to go to court. This is the pain that I have. This is the placard I'll be carrying in my heart. Because I know that if you don't fix the politics, you cannot fix the economy. The errors that we have made over the years is because of the fact that we think that politics is a dirty game. We never participated. But not realizing that issue of economy, job creation, your health service, electricity, they are issues embedded in politics and political processes. Very many of you who are on this platform, you all remember your classmates, those who were not up to you, whether you are in secondary school or in the university, who were nobody, but because they are in politics. Just look at, in Nigeria here, look at what they have become today in our country. The worst elements are leading the best in our country. This has to change. And you must know this, that to make that change, there must be resistance. There must be resistance. You must expect resistance. Look, in our families, we talk about enemies and all that. A philosopher, Karl Popper, in his book, Open Society and Its Enemies, he spoke about enemies of society. These are the people we are trying to fight. These are the people we are fighting today. And so, the rules have been clear. This is about the rule of law. And that is why I'm trying to give a message to my colleagues, both in the bar, particularly in the bench, that today, in the United Kingdom, where most of you are domiciled, United States of America, citizens, politicians are scared of judiciary. They are afraid of judges. In England, but in Nigeria, politicians are not afraid of judges. This is because of the way some of our colleagues, some, not all, have misconducted themselves, in the course of their professional calling. As I noted today in this conversation, that look, at inception of democracy in the 19th century, United Kingdom, US are the most notorious corrupt nations, electorally speaking. Vote buying was a key issue. United Kingdom. Election was not a one-day affair in England when it all started. When vote buying was rampant in the United Kingdom, they would have a pound, tear into two, they give you a half to buy votes for liquor. What they were doing with landlords, what they were doing with the employers of laborers. In the Stamford Borough in 1832, you recall what happened there? A whopping £5,000 was used to buy 860 votes out of 1,000 registered voters. It was to curb vote buying that election was reduced to one day in England. When Australia came up with the idea to help the world about secret balloting, which before now in England and elsewhere, balloting was an open balloting. It took United Kingdom 16 years to accept a reform to adopt secret balloting. which they finally accepted in 1872. As a matter of fact, in 1830, in England, when vote buying was a main issue, there was a movement to keep vote buying. And we all recall, as students of history, were documented that a petition totaling 1,280,000 petition signature was wheeled to the parliament of about 3 miles at the House of Commons. During the debates, Benjamin Disraeli, who was the 2-time Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, on the day of the debate, to stop vote buying, he was seen eating oranges. The debate ended 235 votes to 46 votes to defeat vote buying. The point I'm trying to make here is that to get our situation right, I want your conversation, this is your platform, that where we are now is the judiciary now. No insults. We must call on judiciary to stand tall and mighty in defense of democracy and the rule of law. Because in England, because politicians could buy, they were buying the system in England, buying landlords to pressure voters, buying employers to give directive to voters. On account of that, the judiciary in England refused that the election petition should be brought to the court. Because if they allow that to happen, politicians will capture the judiciary. They will buy judges in England. That was why at the inception of democracy, particularly in the 19th century, election petitions were never entertained in court in England, but they were taken to parliament. Judges got the view that take those people to the parliament, that a court of law should not answer political questions. Okay. But as we all know, when it got to parliament, there was no justice. They had to return back to the court. And they came up with the 1872 Act, 1883 Act, wherein if a politician is found linked to vote buying, to electoral fraud, rigging of election, will be banned for life in England. That's what judges did. That is what we are calling our judges, to say our judiciary should not be a safe haven for people who rig election and say, let's go to court.
Yes. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I listened to that particular statement from you today, earlier on in Arise. Thank you for reiterating it again. Thank you. I would like us to move on to Chuks Obibweze. Mr. Chuks Obibweze, where are you joining us from? And pass your question.
Yeah, good evening, Barrister Mike Igini. My name is Chuks Obibweze, and I'm calling from United Kingdom. Thank you for all the things you've been doing. Being a follower of Nigerian election, especially 2023, you made it possible for most of us, both in Nigeria and diaspora, to become interested in our electioneering system. And of course, we give it to you, and today we are happy that you come here to clear your name, but because most of us are calling on you to come and, express what you're just doing now, because we put all our hope, because you said it's a game changer. Though you have answered it. Yeah, my question is, INEC said there's infractions in the election, and those infractions are not up to something that will make them cancel the election. And knowing that over 80 people died in this election, what are our judicial system saying about people dying in the course of election, not during the campaigns and all this? Because where I'm living today, if 1 or 2 persons die because of election, then there will be trouble. So what is our judiciary doing in the case of those who died? and going forward. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, in our country, we seem to have lost our sense of humanity. The death of one citizen on account of election is one that should touch the heart of all men. But today, the killings going on in our country is intolerable. We've seen that of elections. We saw the ethnic profiling that took place. We saw people were prevented from voting. Now, the tribunal that are settled, they are basically going to look at the civil matter, the civil aspect of the election. Issues about deaths, painful, regrettable, if we are able, and of course security agents should have gone out to do all of that. It's part of the tragedy. When I said that I'm seeing shock, for those who have read my interview, I'm seeing shock, and that's why when we want to talk about the benefit of, I don't want to talk about benefit of Bvas when we have lost people. I don't really want to talk about that. In fact, I don't want to talk about some of these things now because we lost human beings because of election. We saw the disruption. We saw the maiming that took place. We saw the behavior of the political class during the campaigns, how people, were killed. It's so unfortunate in our country, but this is where we are. We have people who have lost their sense of humanity. So, well, for the court, there is nothing they can do, because what they are dealing with now is strictly the civil aspect of the elections.
Thank you, Barrister Mike. Let me ask Patricia, because I'm quickly moving on to everybody. I have four more people to go. Patricia, please talk to us, madam. Good evening to you once again.
Good evening, everyone, and a special thanks to Barrister Mike Igini. Thank you for honoring our invitation and coming to enlighten us regarding all that we are discussing here today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Where are you joining us from? Where are you joining?
I'm joining from Denmark.
Denmark.
Thank you. Yeah. So my question is, my concern actually is, I'm asking, seeing that it was 93 million Nigerians, who registered, for their registered to vote, and there's 83 million collected their voters card, and then during the election, the presidential election, we found out that only 88, the one who won, according to INEC, only had 10%, about 10% of the accredited vote, people that collected their voters, accredited voter, collected their voters card. Seeing that there was so much suppression, voter suppression and irregularities with this election, could the commission not have taken a stand to annul the vote rather than, allowing it to run and then declaring a winner? That's my first question.
No, you only have one question. You only have one, madam.
Okay.
Please let I just land on the second one. Sorry.
Okay. Go ahead.
Thank you. And then the second one is section, I think it's part 6 of the Constitution, section 137, subsection 1G, about the disqualified, who can be disqualified, the disqualifying factors. So I want you please to enlighten us on that, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, very quickly. I am so delighted that the level of interest that they have shown. I mean, maybe some of you are lawyers. You are very much in hand with the very relevant sections of the law. So you also have even read it, That section has to do with, I've just already said, the disqualifying sections, and the words are very clear there. Those are the provisions that the courts, with evidence that parties involved, we have to present in court, the court will have to pronounce on. So we should be waiting to see what happened. Now, with respect to the total number of registration, total number of PVC collected, and the final outcome in terms of the abysmally low record of participation, and why couldn't the commission, on account of that, cancel that election? No, it is not possible to do so. As a matter of fact, elections are not cancelled on account of the level of participation. Elections are cancelled on the basis of either lack of substantial compliance with the provision of the law, or for other acts that are captured under the act. But first, let me make this very clear that, when we talked about 90-something points, registered voters, yes, that registered voter includes those who have died, those who have moved away, those who also will not come on the day of election. And also don't forget that there was a time frame which I think that must change in future. Some things that happen shouldn't happen. People having difficulties collecting PVC and all that. But let me give you the categorization. So don't also forget that there was a cutoff point for the collection of PVC, which means in fact and indeed that many people who could have participated in this election could not also collect their PVC. Now, the fourth factor was the fact that many people were prevented from voting on account of the activities of extra-constitutional actors, those who prevented people from voting. So it's a combination of this factor that brought that level of participation so low and so abysmal. But it is not for the court, for the tribunal to be able to say on account of this low level of participation, that is not a ground under Section 134 of the Electoral Act for the nullification of election. But it is our hope that in future, the process of voter registration, the process of PVC, should be seamless. People should just walk in, get registered, and you collect your PVC, enter almost immediately, or maybe a day after, as we find doing in the bank. So, those are proposals for the future. But for now, election will not be annulled on account of the fact that the overall participation was so low. But in any case, the level of participation also reflects what we call the level of legitimacy, because effective power to govern in a democracy lies in legitimate authority. The degree of legitimacy is very important.
Thank you, Barrister Mike Igini, and thank you very much, Madam Patricia, for that wonderful question right there. Okay, Mr. Aigbe, 2 more people to go on the panel. Mr. Aigbe, please, if you're ready, unmute yourself. Please, I hope your environment is noiseless. Thank you, sir. Talk to us quickly.
Thank you. God bless you, Brother FX. Thank you very much for the opportunity given to me, and good evening to every one of you. Good evening to the listeners and the viewers. And good evening to you, Honorable Igine, for joining us today. God bless you, sir. I so much like you. I salute you for your courage. And since 1993, I voted 1993. That was my first time of voting in Nigeria. Since then, I lost, a trust in Nigeria politics. But in this 2023, you make me to have belief in our system of election by this so-called Bvas. So, let me just go straight to my question.
Where are you joining us from?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I'm very sorry for that. My name is Aigbe once again. I'm joining you from the city of Vatican, Rome, to be precisely. my question is this, sir. I hear you say that you were one of those who fought for democracy in Nigeria, and the way you have analyzed the system of our, the system of the Nigeria political system today, make me to be worried, and make me to want. It make me to ask this question: that is this type of democracy that you fight for? You join those fighters of democracy in Nigeria today? Is this type of democracy that is playing in Nigeria today that we are seeing today?
What is
Is it
your
kind
question,
of
sir?
dream of? Yeah, my question is this kind of democracy that is playing in Nigeria today that you were fighting for, that we are seeing today? And secondly, do we still have trust in this bimodal voters accreditations called Bvas?
Thank you.
Thank you. That's my question.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you very much. First, I know there is anger in the land, even before the election. Those of you who listen to me, one of the warnings, one of the caveats I sounded all through were warning stakeholders not to joke with this election, whether there's anger in the land. People are angry for one reason or the other. Unfortunately, the anger has continued. But I want to appeal to everybody here that let us wait for the outcome of the ongoing process. It is after the outcome of this process that it will show the way forward for Nigeria. Where are we going? On the 27th of this month, I'm going to deliver a lecture which is titled Quo Vadis, Nigeria, Where Are We Going? The 20-something founder of Benin or something in Benin. So my appeal is that let's wait. The process is not yet over. It is not over and it's actually over. Nobody can predict the judiciary. Members of the judiciary are members of the society. They have children. I mean, what is going on? Is it what we want to bequeath to our own children? When my father, he died at the age of 95. When he was around 70-something, in one of the conversations I had with him, he said that clearly what they thought, their dream for Nigeria, the kind of Nigeria they wanted to see, that in his own lifetime, it was not going to happen. He has died. Paolo in 1986, he felt so frustrated when he was invited by Babangida for the setting of the political bureau to chart a new order for Nigeria. He refused to participate, and he said that whenever we think that the new dawn has come, that will be disappointed, but that his whole time is gone, that he's asking the upcoming generation to take up the baton. When the journey of Nigeria and the prospect of democracy was less certain, we were all out there. We fought democracy. I was kept in Enugu State. You would have heard of Bamidele Aturu, is late now. You would have heard of senior advocate Ebu Adegburua, who were detention mate in Enugu State. This was not what we fought for. The greatest mistake we made in 2019, in 1999, was that those who fought for democracy were not the one that took over when the military were leaving. Wow. Because our leaders in the civil society, they were still skeptical that military will hand over. As a result, it was only the southwest part of Nigeria that those who fought for democracy, Pa Adeparati, Segun Oshoba, Lam Adesina, down to Lagos, that was the only area that those who fought for democracy took over. In the south, where I come from, and other parts of Nigeria, those who were in bed with military were the ones that took over. And what we find today, they are the ones who have been rigging elections. They now have their own people they have been training to do all kinds of things. These are the people we are trying to upstage. We cannot give up. We'll get there. We see what the Bvas have done. Look, Bvas didn't fail. It was the human element that failed the country in not doing what ought to be done. Again, these are the issues that the courts of law will have to decide in the days to come.
Thank you.
So please, I want all of us to keep hope alive. Hope belongs only to the living. We will get there. No matter what they do, we will get there.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. I like that last statement. Bvas didn't fail. It was a human element that failed Nigerians. I like that. At the end of the day, you know, we everything will be resolved.
After all, just interruption. After all, you all watch a presiding officer, a pool official, who was making an announcement. We are not going to upload. And the video was everywhere. Was that the instruction? Was that the provision of section 60, subsection 4 and 5? Is that the provision of section 64, subsection 4 of the Electoral Act with respect to the role of the work relation officer? Was that the instruction under clause 38 of regulation and guideline? The answer is no. That wasn't the instruction. But you saw pool official announcing to voters, if you don't want to vote, you can go away. We are not going to upload. So it was not the Bvas that failed. It was the human element that failed all of us.
And we also saw a series of videos where people were telling others, if you're not voting for APC, please leave this place. So we saw all that. We want the courts, you know, the judges to sort all this out. But meanwhile, I would like us to move on to the last person on the panel before I will take 2 calls and 2 questions from the comment section. We will let you go, sir. Mr. Edwin, thank you very much for your time with us. Please unmute yourself, Mr. Edwin. I hope there's no noise on your end. Unmute yourself, where you're joining us from. And
thank you very much, Naija Watch. Thank you very much, former INEC Residence Commissioner, Barrister Mike Igini. You are welcome.
Thank you.
I appreciate your coming this evening.
Thank you.
I say thank you very much to answer our call. As a reference to your brief work history, you exist from this body or this satanic body that has now find it as predictable to carry out this present election rascalities. Having been said that, what is the stand of a candidate crime and record to make that candidate to be unfit to stand election in Nigeria? And 2, to what percent is votes turnout lower? Low turnout required to make it mandatory for a re-election or to call for a second round of another election?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, yes. The requirement to be declared first, to be qualified to contest election, they are stated in the Constitution. And because of this program, I think somebody referenced section 137. Another section 137, we have several subsections dealing with various disqualifying factors, some of which are already now before the tribunal with respect to those who are in court at the moment. Number 2, with respect to what is required to be declared a winner, whether for governorship, depending on the number of the states, you need to score 25% of the votes in the local government of that particular state. And I gave an example of Imo State, Delta State, for instance. You have 25 local. That's where I come from. For you to third of that give you 16 point something. So we say 17 and all of that. That's what is required. Then for presidential, of course, it's very clear, section 137, it's also as stated there, having 24% all of that in what do you call it, in the state of the federation and the federal capital territory as stated. These are the issues that are now before the court. So there is no level of votes, total number of votes, which will be part of the questions someone put across before, that will be the basis to say election is cancelled. It's only when you fail to meet a constitutional indicia that another election could be called. For example, if it's clear that all the presidential candidates, for instance, or governorship candidate did not meet the requirement, there will not be a rerun between the first two candidates who had the highest score, who will now go for a second round of election, excluding all others. Those are the requirements in the Constitution.
Thank you. Thank you, Barrister Mike Igini. Okay, I'm done with the panel. I'm just going to take only 2 calls. And the first caller we have here already is Mr. Alex. Mr. Alex, please tell us where you are calling from and go ahead straight away to your question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Najawash. Mr. Barrister Mike Igini, your name do not need a vuvuzela. Oh, you are known among the ragtag and the bhaktis in Nigerian political cinematography. I'm calling from the ancient land of Igodomigodo, the ancient Benin Kingdom. Yes, I just want to ask you, as an elder statesman, as a concerned citizen, are you worried for the future of this country? Are you worried that a man that has drug-related charges in America with papers to prove, this is not alleged now, has found his way to the Nigerian, most sacrosanct position as a Nigerian presidential elect? Should we now also expect more people, more Pablo Escobars, more Nigerians who are serving jail terms across the world on drug problems to be warming up to come and run for position in Nigeria?
Thank you.
Or should we also extend the letter to the horse puppy in America to come and run for Nigerian presidency when he's done with this crime? What do you think, sir? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alex. Thank you. Continue to watch us. Okay, Barrister Mike, go ahead, sir.
No, you see, well, as I just said, I have been in the system, in the public institution. I'm a lawyer, and given that quite a number of all the issues that have been raised here, that are almost being discussed every day, already before the tribunal. I just said a few seconds ago that I just appeal to everybody that so many issues on the front burner are before the courts. Let's wait and see what the court will do. All we can be doing, I enjoy you to do, is to be vigilant, to continue to engage, pay attention to the courts. We don't need to insult anybody, insult the judges, despite the express misgiving by so many folks on account of how the judiciary, some of our colleagues have conducted themselves, particularly when you saw how people really participate in party primaries suddenly became candidates, decisions that came so close that also have affected public perception. But again, you cannot write off the judiciary. You cannot, predict them. In fact, that still remains the only arm to which all must bow. So I want to appeal for calm, that the judiciary, I'm sure, we hope that on account of the what is going on in the country, that they will stand tall and mighty in defense of democracy and the rule of law.
All right, thank you, Barrister Mike. The last person on the phone is Mr. Tony. Please go ahead with the question. Good evening to you.
Okay, sir. Good evening. Obokia or the Cabo. Let me greet you in our native language.
Good evening.
I'm Mr. Tony Africa, all the way from Germany,
Go ahead, sir. What's your question?
Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. My question is that in view of all what you have stated on the what our own other brother has stated, don't you see that there's a big problem between the north and the south that divide? That because you are supposed to be the electoral, the federal electoral commissioner, for the way that I saw the whole situation.
What's your question?
My question is that what do we do in order to forge ahead? Don't you think that we need to start to discuss with each other, the north and southern Nigeria, in order to be able to move forward so that we can cancel all those quota systems that we deny the quality people, the qualified people from taking up the right positions in the face of the cabal.
Thank you.
In the face of the cabal.
Thank you, Mr. Tony. Okay, that's it. I'm not taking more calls. Go ahead, sir, if you understand the question.
Okay, well, fine. I want to say this here, that the greatest problem we have is our elites. The ordinary person in the north, in the northwest, in the southwest, north central, southeast, south, and southeast, they don't really have a problem. You go to the market, you see the way they interact. It is politicians that have used ethnicity to continue to divide this country. It's the politicians that have tried to use religion, which ought to be used to expand the radius of humanity and affinity, but have become an albatross on us. The way the system has also been, for example, if you look at the INEC choice and all that, you have two people, national commissioner must come from each of the geopolitical zone. So the choice is usually for the appointing authority at any given point in time. So for me, I believe that the rich texture of our diversity, if we have leaders who can bring about the principle of inclusiveness, how to build a society where the opportunity for all, it will be well with us, because the broad outline of the 21st century is very clear. It offers opportunity for people who can live together, who can work together and develop new ties that bind them together. Our problems remain the elite of our country, who are the greatest beneficiary of this country called Nigeria, who also tragically are the greatest threat to the progress of our country.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Just one more last call. Mr. Henry, thanks for calling in. Please go ahead straight. Where you calling from, and pass your question.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Barrister Mike Igini. My name is Henry Gabriel. I'm calling from Germany. Yeah, I wanted to ask, if we hope we have right now is the judiciary, because if the judiciary want to go on this case, you have to go on evidence. But if they go against this, they don't go through the evidence and give us a negative result. Nigerians are waiting for this judiciary, because we are waiting for the judiciary. They should do the right thing, because our bodies are hot right now.
Okay. So what's your question, sir?
My question is: are they going to allow to televise this court case to everybody to watch live? Is it possible?
Okay.
Because Nigerians are interested. We're all interested.
Okay, televising. Thank you. A lot of people actually ask on that from the comment section. I believe he's going to answer everybody at the same time now. Go ahead, Barrister. Thank you, sir.
Yes. Now, on the issue of televising of court proceedings, it has never been a practice that court proceedings, you have to have camera, being facing everybody. That has never been the practice. But what has always happened? So first, with respect to, the law says that the courts is a public place. It must have access. People must have access to it. So there's a proposal already, or there's a suggestion already. The NBA has put forward a request to that effect. Whether it will be granted, we don't know for now. But I also know that when it comes to delivering of judgment, and there's something like that has happened before. that could also be done the day they are going to deliver the judgment. However, the daily proceeding, journalists will be in the courtrooms, and of course they'll be reporting it from time to time. So it will not in any way, whether televise it, on daily basis, it will not in any way distract from what should happen or what will happen. But I think that maybe if they consider it, fine. If they don't, I also know that maybe at the time of delivery of the judgment, they will also do it. What is more important is for the judiciary to be reminded that the judiciary is the last line of defense of democracy anywhere in the world. And that if the institution or representative democracy will have a hopeful future, it will depend on how courageous the judges will be to deliver judgment according to the letter and spirit of the law, and to do everything possible to avoid technicality, but rather to deliver on substantive and procedural justice. That is what's required. That is the only way we can hold accountable people who do the wrong thing, because society make progress on the basis of reward and sanction. A professor who tried to mess up the process under my watch, one of them is still on trial. One was convicted and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. The other professor, very soon, will see here about what's going to happen. Staff of the commission who deviated from the highest principle of ethical standards that I maintained or true, I got all of them dismissed from the system. For the period I worked in INEC, for 10 years, in each of the states, I never stepped into the home of a human being. For good 5 years in Akwa Ibom, I never stepped into the home of a human being. If there is any human politician born of a woman who can come forward to say that for ordinary pure water he gave to me to enable him succeed in election, I have challenged everybody, come forward. It never happened. It never happened. And so we are looking forward. The whole, not only Nigeria, the whole world is waiting to want to see what will happen in the light of the very weighty issues that are before them to deal with. Whether the system that we have now, where we have thugs, where we have extra constitutional actors who can curtail citizen participation, is the kind of system they want to bequeath to the next generation. So we are waiting. We are waiting to see what happens.
Thank you very much, Barrister. Okay, now questions from the comment section and my own question. Okay, from the comment section, I have from one of our team here asking here, put on the screen. My question, sir, are you aware of the opinion of restructuring of our judiciary system?
Well, I don't know exactly what you're trying to say, but I think what needs to happen is the quality of people that goes to the bench, the mode of appointment. We must appoint the best of legal minds to go to the bench. The current mode of appointment by politicians that's not based on merit, based on man or man, it's what has brought down our system to the level we are today. Many who are in the bench should not be in the bench. So merit is the key issue. People have integrity. It was an Austrian jurist, Eugene Erdich, who made the point that there's no guarantee of justice except the integrity of the judge. And so, as an umpire, performing a quasi-judicial function, I just told you here, there is no politician born of a woman that can come forward. I mean, we have seen things before, $5 million, $10 million, want to buy the state and all of that. And I was very clear that my remit as an umpire is to count votes and not to count money. And I'll be very clear on that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. We have two questions more, one from the public and the last one is from me. I have another one here concerning, okay, I'll just put it on the screen. You know, this one is coming from Freedom Simple, say that Mr. Igini, are you aware of the Ibom People Republic movement? Would you say that the people are yearning for something Nigeria simple can't offer?
Well, yeah, I mean, across the country, you know, once people have no sense of belonging, there's always a clamor for freedom. And so it's a right of everybody, I know that. But I believe that the way we are, a big country, very good, we like that. You know, because we will be more respected outside. You know, if we are from an entity as big as us, rather than to say, oh, I am from Delta country, let's say Delta as a country and all of that. But to belong to a big country, there must be fairness, there must be justice, there must be equity. People must have a sense of belonging. That is the challenge and the task before nation builders. That is what we require to see happen. We want a country where people have opportunity to grow, to be what they want to be, so that they can attain their aspiration. That is the kind of society we want. Once we have an inclusive society where there will be opportunity for all and responsibility from all, the quest for breakup will be a thing of the past.
Thank you, sir. So my own question is just straightforward. Does INEC have the authority to change the constitution in favor of any party?
And I mean, that is self-explanatory. I mean, the change of constitution is something done by the National Assembly. It's National Assembly that had the power to change the constitution. And I'm not aware that INEC has in any way changed the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which it does not have the power to do.
Yeah, I'm just asking in case at the end of this journey, you know. Yes. Thank you very much, Barrister.
I can only make a proposal, like any one of you can make a proposal, you know, for changes. Just like the proposal we made with respect to the Electoral Act, we made a total of 91 proposals. They accepted 48. The 48 they accepted, most of them did not even read them. That is the albatross. So, proposal, yes, but do not have the power, suo moto, to change the constitution.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister. Once again, I really do appreciate this. Your honoring our invitation for the first time. We are looking forward to having you back here on this platform. Thank you very much for taking your time to answer all the questions. This is our plight. We are pouring it out. It might not go where some of the questions might not go where, but we want you to understand that we are concerned Nigerians who care so much about our own country, because we live in abroad. Yeah. We've experienced good lives in abroad, and you've traveled abroad before. You know how it is over here, but we cannot continue like this in postmodernism in Nigeria the way it's going. So I'm very, very happy that you stand for the people, not just because you're on this platform. We've played series of your videos on this platform, and you can testify to the response from the people here, how they recommended you. So please continue to stand for what is right, because you are right there now. You can go down in the twinkle of a second if you decide to turn your back on the people and praise, or rather stand for the satanic politicians in Nigeria. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. Please allow me to address the House in 1 minute, your closing remark.
Okay. Well, once again, I want to thank you for the opportunity to share my thoughts with you people, and also to learn from you, particularly your continuing engagement on issues that affect our country. The greatest promise of democracy is peaceful transfer of power from one government to another. And the effective power to govern in any democracy must lie in the people right to vote for them. And so a democracy where vote do not count, it becomes a ritual without actually choosing. This is what we try to avoid by developing, designing innovations to address historical challenges of election service delivery in our country. No nation can rise and make progress outside the orientation and values of its leadership, because everything rises and falls with leadership. Our quest for a better Nigeria, our quest for the best leadership is one that's legitimate, is one that we must continue to fight for, is one that we are calling on all stakeholders, particularly my constituency, which is the judiciary, where we are right now, that it is important for the judiciary to put a proper closure to the entire outcome of the general election of the 2023 across the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Because to do otherwise will send a wrong message, particularly to the young people of this country who are first-time voters, who, if there's no proper closure, we may lose them. That's my greatest worry. That's my greatest fear. And it is my hope that the judiciary of the Federal Republic of Nigeria will stand tall, mighty, and defend democracy for the good of all of us. So that very many of you who have been out there, who want to come back home, you'll be able to come back home and be part of nation building. Thank you once more. Until we meet again.
Thank you very much, Barrister Mike.
Thank you so much, Barrister.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Have a good evening, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. Always, always, always. Bye for now.
We hope to see you once again. Please oblige us. Please.
Wow.
Whenever.
That was wonderful. Thank you very much, my people. I appreciate every one of you.
Thank you
for your patience with us. I understand that I could not pick some calls and I could not pass some questions as well. Please just understand with us that there's a limit. It's been here for almost 2 hours. So yes, but next time.
And you know they pay. And you know they pay.
Thank you very much, my people. I appreciate every one of you. All my panelists, thank you very much for your polite questions right there. I appreciate every one of you. Mike Igini, I'm one of his supporter. Like I said, I started following him since 2020 after that statement, when he said that the local government elections are not but organized crime. Since that time, I said, this one a person where I go to follow. Let me listen more to him. And ever since, even though he came on to say that Bvas is a game changer, yes, fine. But a lot of us are disappointed what happened with the Bvas. But you also see, you heard him how he described it. That Bvas did not fail us. It was human element that failed us. You know what that means? Whoever that were behind the Bvas, now he failed you and I, not be the Bvas. Thank you very much, my people. I appreciate you all. Yes, I would like us to talk.
Mr. Niger Watch.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, quick one, if you don't mind, right? Because there's a question. The question, I think, is it Mr. CM that asked him, right, that he couldn't answer about the 25%. If you don't mind, get that tape he said before the election and they replay it for us so that your viewers will know exactly what he is trying to say, so that they don't think he come here to dodge questions. Thank you.
No, let me look for it. Let me look for that tape. While we are contributing, if I can get the tape, I'll bring it here for recapitulation. Thank you very much. I appreciate every one of you. We have Alex who just coming in now. Well, although he got the opportunity to pass his question on the phone, but we'll let Alex speak to us first before we move on to the next person. Alex, Mr. Alex, good evening to you once again. Go ahead, talk to us.
Thank you. Yes, thank you, Mr. Najawash. I greet everybody on the panelist list, on the panelist platform. Those on the comment section, I humbly greet you. You are we cannot spread success without you on this platform and our viewers worldwide. I bring greetings to everybody from the land of the Godomigodo, from the ancient Benin Kingdom, from the ancient Benin city, a city where the king is truly king. I want to say that I'm worried. I'm very worried. I'm worried because I don't know, because a lot of criminals, a lot of people who are serving drug-related crimes, penalties across the world, Nigerians, are going to be warming up for elections because a drug baron has become a presidential INEC presidential elect. So that has been my, hypothesis for donkey days now. This is something. It's not funny. It's a very serious issue. A lot of young people are going to go into drug dealings after all Tinubu did it. When you have a set of animals that don't think at the end of affairs, it's like giving a dunce, somebody who has no education in terms of train driving, to just handle a railway line. It's going to be catastrophic. These guys don't just understand. Because there's a trickle-down syndrome. What goes around comes around. This is not about English. This is pure logic. You cannot sow cocoyam and expect to reap corn. So how did he even emerge as a governorship candidate in Lagos in 1999? How did he serve a two-term governorship under Obasanjo regime? That also shows the illiteracy of our former president, Obasanjo. Who didn't go to school at the time? He had primary six in the 1970s. The Queen of England said a primary six, a mechanic has become Nigerian head of state, military president. The Queen of England said it while she was having breakfast with the BBC in front of her. She was laughing. So I'm just worried as a concerned citizen. We have to start thinking about this. Children are watching. There are things you should not allow children to see. Children learn by visuals. They're watching. The teenagers are watching. What kind of nation are we bringing to? What kind of generation are we going to transfer the baton to? This is not the kind of society our great-grandparents gave to our grandparents and our parents to us. This is not. That a man with drug issues to the tune of $1.8 million, $460,000 were deducted as a punishment because he was not in the country, emerged as a flag bearer, and we are just seeing it as a political tatato, as a pastime for this past Nigeriana. Guys, there is a ticky time bomb. Where are the professors? Where are all the political scientists, all the lawyers, all the international relations graduates? Where are all the engineers, people without criminal records? Are you telling me the whole of the country is only a drug baron? Working with people from Cuba, Nicaragua, Brazil, Bolivia. These are the highest drug dealing nations in the whole world. They sent in continents already. I want to titillate the conscience of our Nigerian political gladiators, those who still have conscience left. This is not how things should be. It's not about politics now, because this thing is going to implode on all of us. Nobody will escape it, unless those who are living abroad. It will still affect them because you have families back home. You are going to, God forbid, you are going to be mourning, worried, panic. The greatest problem is the problem of the mind and emotions, mental health, post-traumatic stress disorder. So it's going to boomerang. This is not time. It is not time for political party, anki-paki, or double-decker politics. It's society building. How can a drug-related charges criminal, ex-convict, go to the United Nations to stand before them, to stand before 240 countries, or go to the African Union in Addis Ababa to stand before 50 countries, or go to the European Union in Brussels, in Belgium, to stand before 27 countries, telling them what? I don't know if you're getting it. I'm talking as a political medical doctor now, because I've been to the lab a lot of times. I cannot just deduce any straightforward answer from this cacophony, from this topsy turbulence, gentlemen and ladies. We are headed for doom. If we do not, if the judiciary do not get it right, it's going to be a big. This is not the 1999, the Abiola scenario. It's a totally different case, because the country then was not on its knees. Nigeria has been stolen dry already. People are in, poverty, massive brain drain, migration. The economy is shrinking due to reckless borrowing with impunity, without accountability. I don't know if you get it. There is high rate of unemployment as we speak. Youth in Nigeria that can't access job are 41% as we speak, if not more. That's the one they wrote to us online on their portal statistics. But I dare to say it's almost 60%. Crime rate is still very high. Religious bigotry. This is not the time to play with the leadership of Nigeria at all. APC should be disbanded with immediate effect, because a political party in Greece, an overzealous member killed somebody from that party. The party was disbanded, and all the leaders were arrested nationwide. 16,000 leaders. As we speak, they are still in prison. All the leaders, they are scattered all over Greece to serve as a deterrent. Nigeria need orderliness, not a drug-baron presidential elect. It sends the wrong signal. If you know for the past 1 month how many of our young people are beginning to inquire into drug dealing, you don't know. You don't know. Guys, I don't know what to say anymore. We have to just wait, because the doomsday is very close. No section of the country is willing to give 4 years to a drug baron as a president. Yakubu, whatever, we reap what is sold, because it's going to implode in his very before. Moment after judiciary manipulate this old judgment and give it to the person we are assuming they are going to give it to, God forbid, it's going to be a big problem. It's going to be a big problem. And now we have a department of NDLA fighting drugs. They should scrap that department. If a man with drug history can even be a flag bearer for a political party, for the most holy seat, the hallowed seat of a president. Capital rejectment on that. Where are all the intellectuals? Where are all the good political figures with good antecedents? How did they arrive on the election figures? What about the killings and the tribal bigotry and the profiling and the election bravado that took place? The burning of places. Gentlemen and ladies, are we going to start inviting people now? Criminals all over the world, Nigerian, because Tinubu did his thing in America. That is a fallacious boogaboo that APC is giving us, that he didn't commit the crime in Nigeria. So we should send a letter to Hush Puppy in the name of PDP to come home and run for elections after his J term is over. Is that what we are saying? Wow. The Bible said the children of Issachar, they were men that had the understanding of time, and they knew what Israel should do. I'm from that tribe in Israel. I'm from there because I can read already. It's like the biblical Tekayufasi. It's going to explode on all of us, one way or the other. It's going to come. It's going to come. All the governors could not take a stand against this. Are they all drug dealers? Are all APC members drug dealers? Are they all drug barons? All the APC governors, are they all drug barons? All the PDP governors, are they all drug barons? For him to even have that stain at all is enough for this country to rise up. We should not have even waited before now. My sincere apology for not raising this alarm before now. I went back to do my research, and it's totally unacceptable. It has never been heard of, apart from Norwegia or Panama, who was also picked up by the American drug enforcement units. But America seems to be, quiet. They are slow. What do? Nobody will do it for us. We must come out ourselves and fight these people. We've done it with our PVCs. We've done it. We know our vote was stolen. Our mandate was stolen. But for a drug baron with papers to prove, with drug charges, whether in or outside the country, Kabuto the Jetamenta. Please, I want you to hypothesize on this. I want you to think about this. The future of this country is already at stake. It's already at stake. How do we fight drugs after this? If they bulldoze this man on us, what do you tell a man on the street selling drug, or a man caught traveling in our airspace with drugs? It's going to diminish our reputation as a country. Our passport ranking is going to fall like 30 countries down the drain. These guys don't think at all. They just think about money, women, Dubai, think about nonsensical and frivolous activities. They don't have this country at heart. And the good news is this, or the bad news to them, the country is going to go into a very disastrous cataclysm. Something is coming. Because how are you going to tell the Biafrans to shut up after this broad daylight robbery? How are you going to tell them in Oduduwa Republic to shut up? How are you going to tell them in Benin to not to agitate for their own country? So the judiciary is all we are hoping on. I thank Barrister Mike Igini for coming to do an expository expose the way even if he could not answer some questions based on his position, for now, vis-a-vis the case being with the judiciary, the country is on a serious problem due to massive corruption, massive underdevelopment, and massive youth awareness. They want their country back. It's either the judiciary do the right thing or they should forget about this country. It's not a threat. It's just the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Alex. Thank you. I have a caller. I'm going to take 10 calls, and everybody is going to be on 1 minute because of time now. Please, callers, you can call in. I already have the first caller here. Isha Oluwa, thanks for calling in. Good evening to you, sir. Please talk to us.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Elvis and everybody in the panel and the comment list. And I was trying to call earlier on when Barrister Igini was on the show, but I couldn't make it. Because the question I wanted to ask was during the interview he had 2 weeks after the presidential election. He made mention that there is a guideline, there is a last throw that this politician didn't know that, that is there. That after the gubernatorial election, if they repeat what they did, that is going to review that. So I wanted to ask him, what is that last stroke that is hidden from this politician? But it's unfortunate that I couldn't get through. That is one. And another thing, I see that we still have, men of character. That is why I so much believe that a new Nigeria is possible. And I don't know what some people are saying. I'm already saying a new Nigeria because it's going to come. As these people are, piling up their list, their ministerial list, we also obedient. This is the time for us to start piling up our lieutenants, our ministers that we should propose to our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, when we reclaim our mandate, because we are going to reclaim our mandate for sure. And I'm so happy the way he spoke today. And the judiciary, I know that the judiciary, they are listening, and they should know that yes, whether the country is going to bake or not is in their hands right now. So everybody, I'm so happy that people are still speaking, and we still have men of integrity. That is my confidence. That is why I believe that this new Nigeria is possible. And as we are still speaking today, I enjoy everybody to start speaking, continue speaking, and we will continue speaking until we reclaim our mandate. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Everybody. God bless you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. Let me quickly pick another call right here. Hello. Yeah, good evening to you. Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know. Is anybody there? Okay. Hello. Yeah, good evening to you. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Hello, Nigeria Watch.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Good evening to you.
This is Austin from Leeds.
Okay.
When Mike Igini was talking, I've known him for a very long time. After the election in 1999, I remember somebody giving me an assignment to just design a ballot box. The only thing missing in this election that they did was the fact that they allowed human errors to crop in, because the election box I designed, once you finish voting and voting is completed and you want to count, there's a card reader on top of the voting machine where you slot in your card into while you are voting. It is counting simultaneously who is winning and who is losing. So if you are finished voting and you want to count at the polling station, for you to open it, you are going to press a key button on that card reader. Once you press that card reader key, it goes to the server immediately. You cannot touch it, you cannot change it. So whatever, if it is ballot A you are counting, if ballot A brings 1,000, it should be 1,000 on that machine. You cannot go back after counting physical and say you counted 1,005. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. That's the only mistake INEC did. And the truth is, INEC had already passed this bill, not knowing that these things cannot be rigged if they followed it normally. That is the reason why they bypass and they bypass all these Bvas and all that, because they already know that our tricks cannot work by rigging.
Okay.
So if you leave it, this election will go smoothly. But you can see that human beings and Nigerians are very funny. Nigeria is not working because somebody is benefiting. That is the problem with Nigeria. Nigeria is not working because somebody is benefiting. Once we change this, things will become better. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please, just okay. Can I chip in one thing? Just even if it's 10 seconds, please.
No, go ahead. Talk to us, sir.
Okay, yeah. The thing is,
just talk to us in general.
Okay, yeah. You see, let me pick up from where this last speaker said. It is not a mistake; it's deliberate. Probably you saw Niger Watch parked his car, and you know he's about to go to a wedding. He's getting ready. You deliberately go and remove all the air or puncture the 4 tires. What you did was you don't want him to move. So it's deliberate. It's not a mistake.
That is not a mistake.
It's not a mistake because what is a mistake is what you do not know the impact. So when it happens, I didn't know it's a mistake. But what you know the impact, mind you, take it like this: 3 people park their cars, Niger Watch, Alex, and probably give us our mandate. And they want to go to a wedding. Because you want to punish Niger Watch, you punctured the 4 tires of his car, allow the Alex to drive away, give us our mandate, you drove away. Then when Niger Watch came, the tires were deflated. He started looking for a mechanic. Then you now have to go and say, this is an old tire, do we patch it? Or, wasting time for 2 weeks. You are still looking for the tire. When Alex and give us our mandate, they've all gone. So it's not a mistake. It's the greatest act of wickedness you can do to any country. Because the people, they've decided who they want. Remember, this election, there's never been an election held under this type of condition. 1, at a point, APC promised Nigerians in 2015 that they will make 1 naira to be equal to $1. We saw 1 naira becoming, $1 becoming whatever it is you can get. But that is not the issue. So even for 1 naira to be equal to 1 naira is a problem. Because your old 1 naira is not equal to your new 1 naira. In the same country, under this condition, they voted. Under this condition, there was no petrol, yet they voted. Under this condition, most people paid money to get their PVC, yet they voted. Under this condition, some people went to INEC office to get a PVC. There was nothing like that. They were beaten. It wasn't like that. Yet they voted. Under this condition, some people went to the bush and saw PVC dumped there. They brought it and started calling people, please, if you know, and yet they voted. Under this condition, some people a lady was brutalized, full of the face, full of blood in Lagos. She went somewhere, bandaged herself, had a face aid, came back and voted. Under this condition, so many things. Look at the economic situation. Yet people said no problem. Even whatever they want to let them do, we are going to vote them out. And they now decided, expressed their wish. somebody somewhere will now use Tipex in the middle of the night and start to change it. Do you know there are crimes that God can't forgive? This is one of them. Do you know that vote you are changing, the future, the aim, in fact, all the prayer people prayed, fasted, that look, they say get your PVC. Since military is out of the question, now somebody will now sit down quietly. Look, let me tell you, the only offense, I think I've said it here before, apart from espionage, because you are revealing the country's secret, and then secondly, let me give respect to humanity, rape, because rape is what somebody did not consent to, and you forcefully take the person away, you know, defiling somebody or violating a woman, it cannot be forgiven. The next thing is the opinion of the people. They don't want you. They say this is who we want. Then one or two people will sit in the night and then change the opinion of millions of people. Do you think I don't think God can forgive this. I don't think so. So when this type of thing happens, there is no way to rationalize it. People do not know. It's better you go to bank and steal. Because if you go to UBA and steal money, First Bank is still intact. If you go to a First Bank, Zenith Bank and other banks are still intact. You go to a restaurant and steal maybe whatever they are selling, or a supermarket, the other restaurants are still there. And it's only in one restaurant, maybe in one corner of the city, not in the whole country. But how can you go and change the opinion of the people? And you come out and we feel that it is nothing. Electoral law should be not just the Mahmood. I don't know why Nigerians are just do this. That man shouldn't have been living by now. To be honest, just to show. Because what else do you want people to put up with? All the mess, yet they put it behind them and say, look, let us change this system. People do not know the impact of what he did. I mean, the gravity of this offense. They don't know. Yet we are still taking it as if
everybody knows the impact of his offense. Everybody knows, but
can I say something right quick?
Who is going to stop him? The incumbent government right now.
So you see,
can I interject, sir?
Also satanic. So who's going to stop him?
Can I interject?
Yes, and I watch. Okay, please, if I can interject. Okay.
No, hold on. Someone else is already talking.
Okay, so Mr. CM.
Yes,
people
please.
knows the impact of what Mahmood did, and that's why that boy in Plateau State, that 19 years old boy, hanged himself. Now, you know why this platform is so great? Because great mind like you talk to the situation. Mr. Alex talked to, so he himself, and that person also killed herself. So that is when you are changing people's, like you have analyzed. What people need to take away from your analysis is that Mahmood Yakub and all of the INEC officials and Mr. Barrister Mike Igini said that also. They changed the will of the people. Now, what you must understand is if I go vote for Peter Obi, for example, that is my will and my wish, and that should not be changed. And when you ask the question, in what law was INEC allowed to store Tipex as part of electoral material?
Exactly.
That's very valid.
Okay. Please, can I quickly say something with this? Yes, Mr. Nanjawash, I just want to answer you. You said who's going to stop them? Yeah. If you can remember vividly in history, the Roman Empire was in charge at the time. The whole world could not defeat them. They were in charge. Guess what? It took barbarians, a few people, barbarian all, to bring them down. Also with the Israel, or the present-day Israel in the Bible, women of Ethiopia, if you treated them and they were defeated, it's a little thing that will wipe out these people. Something small. When you think you are too great, you keep destroying nature, because Nigerians are of modern nature. A woman said on this platform that it will take a woman to correct all these things. Listen, when something is too big, it takes very small thing. It's going to happen shortly. It could be the next thing to happen now, because Nigerians have been brutally treated by this man over the years. Not 20 years, not 30 years. It's going to happen. Unless the judiciary does their job, it's going to happen soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Augustine, please round up in the next 2 minutes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So, like, I think, thank you. Give us a mandate and the Alex for embellishing the point. I don't think I need to say more about it. But the thing I want to say is that because I assume it to be an offense, but the gravity of the offense is looking for another perspective. We've now enthroned drug peddling as a career that somebody, even if you do your drug peddling in Australia, don't worry, you can still be president of Nigeria. That is what, by implication, that is what INEC is doing. Because by depriving the people, depriving the people of their choice and then enthroning your own because he gave you drug money. That is why, like I keep asking, and Alex said it in his previous submission, that I don't see the need for National Drug Law Enforcement Agency again in Nigeria. There's no need establishing it. Who do you want it to catch? To catch me when the president will be in Aso Rock, who is a veteran or who had experience. So that is the thing. And then the last thing I need to say on this thing is that by allowing Agbado or whoever to be president, but God forbid, what we are trying to say is that Nigeria has broken the Guinness Book of Record, whereby all the Nigeria will be the first country to willingly elect a drug peddler, a drug baron, and then reward him with somebody who has been practicing criminality since he was born. The age is fake, the parenthood is fake, where he came from is fake, the name is fake, certificate. Which primary school did you go to? You won't tell us. Secondary school, which secondary school did you go to? You won't tell us.
Please, I
will end so that you can come in. Please. What paper did you give a Chicago State University for them to admit you? You don't want to tell us. Who actually attended Chicago State University? You don't want to say. Fake. I said something as simple as talking to bishops. You manufactured fake. Even this Obi issue, you have to go and bring a Abike Dabiri photo. That is what is their trending now. Photoshopping, saying that Obi was all these things. How can we? Okay, now the president-elect, you can't see him. What really are we trying to do? To reward the criminality? I beg to yield here. Thank you.
Okay, before you will say what you wanted to say, Mr. Edwin, I would like to reference to what Mr. CM just said now. This satanic APC, whoever they paid to Photoshop Mr. Peter Obi, with the immigration, the guy not even know work. The guy don't know work at all. We cash him, he don't know work. Look at this. Look at this. This is Mr. Peter Obi, UK immigration, and another lady right there, right?
Abike Dabiri.
Okay, this is what they assume that happened when Mr. Peter Obi was being interrogated. Okay, let me tell you the satanic part of this.
Look at the seats. The seats don't look like the same either.
Okay, let's look at this. Now, look at this picture you are seeing here. That is the lady there. They took that picture from that lady there.
Yes.
And look at this immigration woman was talking to this man. They removed this man. They put Peter Obi picture for where this man sit down. Okay, that Peter Obi picture, why I put just now, this picture, they go collect them from here where Peter Obi they talk to
Obasanjo.
Yes. You see, see Peter Obi, that picture. Now, when they talk to Obasanjo from here, why that woman? Now, when that woman they talk to that army from here, right? So they not put all of them together. So none of these pictures were connected at all.
They say because they say Abike Dabiri rescued Peter Obi because he's the person in charge of diaspora affair. Maybe there's someone who quickly came and talked to this.
Yes, Mr. Najawas, can I just say something about this? Can I say something?
Hold on, madam. We wanted to quickly interject earlier on. Not your time yet. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to tell Mr. CM, sir, that this very issue, Nigeria did not willingly voted drug baron. INEC willingly imposed a drug baron on Nigerians. That was what I was trying to go. You said Nigerians, it will not be a Guinness Book of Record that Nigeria willingly voted. So I was trying to correct that. No, Nigeria, that was not the mandate of Nigerians. So we were not part of it. We cannot be in Guinness Book of Record. INEC.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Thank you very much.
Elvis, can I say something, please?
Thank you. No. Hold on. I'll come to you. Madam Nena, thank you very much for joining us. I'd like you to just use your opportunity.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Elvis. First of all, I just want to say, yesterday when I spoke, you said, if I come late, you give me 3 seconds. I just start new work. They know they give me rest.
Oh.
I just started a new job. I'm doing orientation. So anytime I get back, once I get off work from my car, I log in with my phone. Anyway, I just wanted to start with this picture. When I saw this picture, there's this guy, they call, I think, Adamu Garuba. I think that man is in the House of Reps, right? He was one Adamu Garuba. I think he's in the House of Reps. He's the person that started. In fact, I saw this picture, this photoshopped picture in his this. He was saying it how I became that saved the Peter Obi. I laughed. I don't know. First of all, and the funny thing is that you see people are saying, "Oh yeah, thank you, mommy." I'm like, after one person, I just responded on that him. I said, "Are you this dumb? Can't you just look at this picture very well?" First of all, look at her because direction of her eyes. Look at Peter B. He was not sitting on a chair, he was sitting on air. The way they photoshopped that, the Peter B was sitting on air. Look at BKW. Okay, look at the BKW's hand. If you look at that picture very, we see that the way they did it as if BKW was literally inside the table. In fact, that was a 5-year-old child can.
They can deceive some people, but not everybody. They can
a 5-year-old can Photoshop that picture better than the way. Look at it. Look at BKW's hands. Look at where she's literally sitting inside. This is supposed to be a round table. But if you look at the BKW, you see that her body is more or less inside the table. Peter Obi is sitting on air because there's no chair. They did not put a chair under Peter Obi's butt. They did not put a chair because this person that they originally is sitting on that chair, is sitting on the chair, and he's leaning back, and the back of the chair is on the wall. So now when they put Peter Obi, who is not backing, you see that Peter Obi is more or less sitting on air. Like, it's so stupid. Like, and even the body contact of Peter Obi and Abike Dabiri in the Photoshop, it doesn't even make no. I don't even see how a full-grown human being will look at that picture and believe it. And I had asked myself when I saw it, I said, all this foolishness that these people are demonstrating, for what reason exactly?
And they paid that whoever that did that Photoshop, they paid that person maybe £1 million.
Of course. And the another thing with this Peter Obi's case in England, I don't know how many of you that really know that case is serious. Not the fact that it's serious to the point that Peter Obi is going to get into trouble with it. But this thing, this thing is not just about somebody impersonating Peter Obi. Somebody actually went to England with Peter Obi's passport, with Peter Obi's international passport and his picture on it. Then the question is, how did that individual got Peter Obi's passport? Who gave that person Peter Obi's passport?
How did the person pass the airport in Nigeria?
That is the point.
You see?
Because the person went to England with Peter Obi's passport and with Peter Obi's picture, with Peter Obi's international. How did that person get that? This is a very serious case. That's, that I don't know. How did such a person pass Nigeria, pass immigration, England immigration?
Sorry, Madam Nena.
Yes.
Are you saying, right, that this happened, when the person traveled in, or the person was using his credentials here?
I don't know at what point that the person started.
Yeah, because forget about traveling with. Nobody can travel with anybody's passport right now.
I'm telling you that is what happened in this particular case. That is.
No, I'm asking. That's why I'm asking you if you heard from authority that somebody traveled with it, because if that happens, then the English immigration or UK immigration should answer more questions.
That
because
is what I'm telling you.
It means you must have accustomed the person.
That is the point I'm trying to make.
I think it may not be Peter Obi's
manipulation that went on here.
Sorry, it may not be Peter Obi's original passport.
That is, you guys you're not getting my point. That's exactly what I'm saying. Somebody impersonated him. Somebody was able to produce.
Make that clear. Yeah, impersonation.
Yeah, somebody was able to produce something that looks like Peter.
God bless. Because one thing is Nigerian Passport Office.
Now we understand what you are saying. Before we didn't understand.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
What APC cannot fake does not exist.
That is the point.
And they have they are in control. They are the one also in charge of immigration, so they can let go maybe one page one-page copy of passport that will they can put his information there. I mean, they are tapping into his into his phone conversation. So what can they not do again?
That is the thing. So that tells you like how low these people can go. These people are just fighting everything tooth and nail to get this man. And you know what I was just saying, I was just having the conversation with my husband. I said, these things tells me that God is seriously with this man called Peter Obi. If not, do you know that it would have been possible for that individual to go into England, commit a crime, maybe 2-3 hours before Peter Obi lands there, and immediately he gets it, they will get him like arrested for real. But God is so with him that you know in fact the whole thing was able to be caught even before the person. Who knows what they paid that person to go to England to do? Because they are looking for every means possible to get this man. They are looking for every means possible to run this man down. But each step they take, God will expose them and God will disgrace them. It is so sad how low. And you ask yourself, like I said, I don't know how many of us that know this Adamu Garuba I'm talking about. If you I think he's a member of the House of Reps. If we go to his Twitter account, he's one of the people that are campaigning for this house speaker house. I think he's supporting one particular candidate. He's been very vocal about it.
Round up, man.
You know, so it tells you like for us to have this kind of wicked and heartless and criminal-minded human beings in the helm of affairs in Nigeria, and that it is so sad.
Please, madam, round up.
Okay, sorry, go ahead because I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We don't have time anymore. We have lots of people here, so please, everybody, stick within your 5 minutes.
I take 1 minute. I want to go off Mr. Elvis because I have code.
Okay, use your 5 minutes now. Good.
What I wanted to say, I wanted to ask this. I forgot to ask this barrister. Why they don't, from the beginning, stop Tinubu to become a candidate? Why they didn't go into research? We could have not been to this situation we are right now. They could have gone to research about.
So who is going to stop it?
Our so-called son and whatever judicial.
No, I think the question he wanted to ask is that now when that also came to my mind, when candidates submit their credentials,
they have to
run for office. Do they do any background check to check them up and things like that?
That's what I'm saying. Who is going to stop him?
People, okay, let's assume now we have this barrister. He said he's fighting for better country. They have people who are learned, who have this position to investigate on these people.
Who? Somebody brought everybody. You say who is going to stop him?
I mean, like this barrister who came today right now.
Yes,
they have the contact, all these things to
contact to do what?
To check on these people. All the candidates.
Yeah, we are talking about.
Don't forget that the drug case of Tinubu has been in the air since 1999.
Okay, what I'm trying to say.
Tafa Balogun brought that case. You remember?
Why they didn't go further to investigate properly? We could have not been in this situation right now because in the normal circumstances, Tinubu is not supposed to be in the ballot paper. It's not supposed to be there.
With the kind of system we have now,
now you're talking.
There's nothing that can be investigated.
So Mr. Henry.
Yeah, Mr. Rita, Madam Rita, it's not a Chinese question. It's just something that I have to say. It's not a Chinese question.
Mr. Henry.
Because we are fighting Tinubu is a drug baron, this and that. We know this for a long time. Why we don't?
But who is going to stop him? That's what I'm saying. Who? Everybody is working for.
Everybody.
We're asking a question. This is an impossible question now. Who?
Mr. Henry,
Mike Igini was taken out of the system because he's a clean guy. So this question you're asking now cannot work in the Nigerian system because
exactly this system.
Mike Igini was taken out of the system because he's a clean man. Understand that situation?
The system is so corrupt to that extent that in fact we need a total restructuring.
Revolution, not restructuring. Revolution to take them out.
To stop him. Somebody will die everywhere. He go back to
Elvis, you know what I'm saying this now? You know what I'm saying this? Like when Farana came out in Arastide was saying you don't need to have he changed his tone about this 25% whatever. Then I was asking myself, but he knows
that is Falana's opinion. Everybody have their opinion. What does the constitution say? So let's not go back to Falana. I mean his own opinion. Mike Igini, Mike Ozakome, and the other people, they are saying 25%. So everybody, even you now, you are a lawyer. So that is Falamo's opinion. What does the Constitution say? What was done in 2008?
All right,
round up, Mr. What I'm trying to say, 1 minute. Let me see one round up. Like the INEC was saying that they don't need nobody. We don't need 25% to win a president of Nigeria. Is it the one going to decide for the judiciary? But I'm just curious, because I'm just curious. I can somebody like INEC forget all the tape, all the tape was making. Interview was giving about this election going to be this, going to be that. He forgot all this. I hope the judiciary are going to check all this proof, all this evidence. I hope you're going to do that. That's what I'm just saying.
Okay. All right. Thank you, my brother, Mr. Henry. The only thing I can add to what you're saying is, with this kind of satanic system that we all are living on, nothing can work in Nigeria.
Yeah, if we come, our prayers will be to come in. If we come in,
that's it. Yes, that's where you can ask this kind of question.
Nigeria police, they need to overrun them because
that's where you can ask this kind of question, not the way we are going now. It's not going to work. Thank you very much. Let me move on to the next question.
I'm not the verse. I get a code where they talk. Make me. I used to force the talk. I'm not the verse. It's okay. Thank you.
No. The verse. I say they talk.
Yeah.
I say they talk here all the time. All right. Okay. Let's move on now to the next person here. Let me quickly call on. Give us our mandate, please. Use your 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis. We will say it again. Posterity will not forget you and your family. We'll continue to pray for you. As we also send prayer to Michael Zakome, we send prayer to Mike Igini, Barrister Mike Igini. We pray for you. Your integrity will not be soiled. The heavens pray for you. The blood of the innocent that died during the election prayed for you. Nigerians in diaspora, as we pray for you. Nigerians home and abroad, all over the world, pray for you. Because people like you, men of impeccable character, men of integrity and compassion, love for the nation, you put the country first before money. You told us how much they brought to you in dollars, in pounds, and in naira. And you told them, I am assigned, chosen, recommended to count votes and not money. I am not recommended to count cash. And because of the things that you did to clean the system, the men of impunity, the men of the underworld, thought they chased you out of the system. No, they cannot chase you out of the system. They only tell you or told you, you know what, Igini, go and relax. When Peter Obi get his mandate, men like you will sit on the hem of affair. Thank you so much, Barrister Mike Igini. I give you personal award tonight, GCFR, because you are doing a good job.
Yes.
For the common man. Mike Igini, heaven will not forget you. We called you. Your sister answered on your behalf from UK, and you came on this channel. You are truly a man of your word. God will bless you. The heaven will pray for you. I don't know what more to say, because you brought joy to Nigerians tonight, both home and abroad. You cleared the hair. You are the product.
But this is one of the things I talk about all the time. How do you want to be remembered? How do you want people to describe you? When your name is mentioned, what do you want people to say about you? It's not what people offer to you secretly. How do you want people to reference to you? That is what Barrister Mike Igini displayed today.
You know, one thing I have come to realize, Mr. Elvis, is that a lot of Nigerians live in diaspora. But this issue of Nigeria now does not concern them. They are turning a deaf ear to it. Some are even saying that drug lord should come be their president in their dream. But people like me will not allow Nigeria to go under the grave, because I have benefited from Nigeria in time past. So that's what Mike Igini is standing for. And we can just continue to pray for him, And we also pray for you, because you stand by your word. and you are giving the common man voice, because some people cannot go to the media houses to go pay millions to speak there, but they can come to Nigeria Watch and speak, and their voice will be heard from all over the world. I mean, we have Madam Rita in Canada, we have CM in UK, we have people all over the places speaking just on this mandate, just on this thing. But you know, one thing is, like Mr. Henry was asking, there are questions that until system is cleared and clean, they will not be answered. If somebody can impersonate Peter Obi, and it was done in UK, imagine how, what more can these guys not do? That just tell you how wicked these guys are. And so they've lined themselves up, the likes of Tinubu. That tells you how Mr. CM, Dr. CM just asked a question. His birth is not clear, his age is not clear, his degree is not clear. This is the only man that went to politics, no enterprise, but have a private jet. Have you asked yourself, where did he get that money from? So we'll just keep doing this. I know Mike Igini has spoken to the heart of the judiciary, the tribunals, and then the Supreme Court. Please, guys, do the right thing. If you can show their face again, that would be good. The tribunal and then the Supreme Court justices, do the right thing, because the Nigerians are on you. The boy that died in Plateau, the 19-year-old boy, and many more that died, 88 people died. And you are saying this election is free and fair? No, we will not even one person should die. So you all must do the right thing. Thank you, Mr. Elvis. I yield the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I come back to the panel, I have a Gingerbread Man on the phone. Gingerbread Man, I beg, talk to us. Good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Nigeria Watch. I greet you all. Nigeria Watch, you are stopping the chat now. Your name is for Guinness Book of Record, because Arise now, they learn from you. They don't hear say they go bring Mike Guinea come, the rush go bring the man come. But it's all good. We are all fighting for the same thing. Please, let us focus our eyes on the ball. You see, if you have followed the sequence and the pattern of this APC government, anytime you hear them rumor something, know that there's something going on. The reason why what's his name, Tinubu's wife came and complained that they are trying to, in fact, there's a hanky-panky going on because of maybe they want to brutalize her husband in order to bring in Shetima. My brother, we have not seen Tinubu for a while. See, I want to encourage Nigerians that are in the UK and these areas where we say that they saw Tinubu last. You people need to put your eyes on the ground. Before these people will do us magic, may they not go manufacture another clown, just like the one waiting for Aso Rock now. You understand? Come the parade like Tinubu, because that guy is suffering from a terminal illness. You understand? And as you have not seen him like this, my brother, I'm not going to be surprised that the man has brutalized. But Nigerians, we should not be taken for another second ride, because these people, what they cannot do does not exist. If they can manufacture bishops and manufacture all forms of
no, what they cannot fake.
So we should not be taken for it. We should not be taken for a ride. Okay, I just want to stir up that concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Gingerbread Man. God bless you, my brother. Okay, let me come back to the panel again quickly. Okay, I'd like us to go. I'd like to go up now. Mr. Chuks Obibweze, please talk to us, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Elvis, for this great opportunity. You know, I don't know, say my name go there like Aguado, say 1993, he fight for democracy. Not be the same thing with the fight now. I be they're different. I beg. Thank you once again, you know, for making this effort to bring Mr. Mikey Guinea here. You know, I say he has given so many people hope. Many people who listen to him tonight will sleep well, including, you know, the doubts. You know, when some senior advocate speaks, we get offended. You know, but some of them are on the right path. But because of the same thing, Mikey Guinea explained today that he cannot answer everything because he has respect for the judiciary. That is exactly what so many of them who are on the right path are doing. So in that sense, he has clarified us so many things. And of course, you see, I think it's Mr. Henry was asking the question. It's just like the question I asked Mr. Mike Guinea. What happens to those people? We don't forget that these are people like us. It could have been us. Could have been any one of us, that died during this election, and nothing is being said. All they are talking about is who wins and who doesn't win, And I intentionally asked that question to know the provisions of our law, what they said about this. Is that too big for them to cancel this election for over 80 people that died? I mean, that's a lot, and you see, Mr. CM, please, don't get emotional. Leave these people. I tell you one thing tonight, right? I've made up my mind, even if Tinubu, I know many of us are ashamed. Yeah, I'm coming to it now. I say many of us are ashamed the way our country has been, the way they use the names of our country. But for something to happen, right? For this country to get good, there must be a place for this country in the history. And that is one of the things we are seeing now. Here will be if the judiciary don't do the needful before time. He will be sworn in and taken out as one of them in the world. And all the history, both the drug case, everything will be written for that history to be complete. So they will include in his history that he was thrown out because of drug issue, because of forgery, because of everything we know him to be done. So that's why somebody like me, I've taken off my mind from saying, hey, I don't want this kind of history to be associated with me. But I still believe that the judiciary, just like all the sons, everybody in Nigeria believe that the judiciary will do the right thing. So for our country to be rebirthed, it's just like when Christian said born again, we know what born again. You can see somebody who killed people and they say he's born again. Yes, he's born again, but that history will still remain there. So that is what our country is passing through now. So I enjoy everybody. Don't get overwhelmed with all these their shenanigans, because we know what they are. We know how they behave. They don't care. They don't care. Like, I mean, if you ask this question, why they don't take him out before the election? How can they take him out while the people like what's the name of this lawyer who wrote to INEC to explain the position of this two-third? They didn't answer him. So it's all about impunity. Once the impunity is the order of the day, forget it. Nobody can do anything. We can do something when we get back our country. You and I will have that right to write INEC and say, hey, investigate this guy. Can write the police, investigate that guy. This is the evidence I have, So I think, we're on the right path. I think something have to happen. When you listen to Mikey Guinea, he's so convinced that we're just looking at the court. Once they finish, then we'll show them what we made of. I think I yield here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chooks Obiweze. God bless you, sir. Thank you. All right. Let me hear from the next person here. Before that, I would like us to go on a quick break before I call on the next person. Please continue to press on the like button, my people. This particular video really need to go far. God bless you all.
That's what we are saying, that we need to retire all these old politicians. We need to retire these politicians so that Nigeria can breathe some fresh air. These people have polluted everywhere. They've taken hold of the judiciary. They've taken hold of the electoral body. They've taken hold of the main institutions in Nigeria that will deliver, the benefits of democracy. These are politicians have taken hold of all of them. And, we don't have any option than to stand, to fight for a new Nigeria. We must keep fighting. waiting until a new Nigeria is possible. We are just hoping that the judiciary is going to stand for the people. We are hoping that these people are not going to look away from justice when it comes to all these petitions that have been filed. We want them to stand up, and defend the people and defend Nigeria. They shouldn't cite our politicians. You begin to wonder why these politicians are always willing to buy cars for our judges, buy houses, make sure they give them money and all that. They are just buying their conscience. This is just it. They buy their conscience. Most of these top politicians, they have the judges in their hands. They are the ones remoting them. And when cases like this come up, you find out that there won't be any justice. Look at what happened in the case of Lawal. The Senate president, somebody that did not participate in the primaries of the Senate post. But what happened? He was given that ticket and he went and, got the mandate to return back to the Senate. He didn't even contest in the primary, but today, the court gave him the opportunity to vie for that position. And, he defeated his opponent. He's back to Senate. These are the things we are talking about. When you look at Imo State, where the governor who came third or fourth was now made the governor of the state, because of these judges, they are no more having their conscience with them. Our politicians have taken hold of them, and we keep asking when our institutions are really going to be independent. So guys, this is where we are today, and we are just hoping that the judiciary will stand with the people. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.